Hey, fourth grade. We are going to be starting chapter 5 in our math book, Multiply with Two-Digit Numbers. And this is very similar to last chapter. We're going to be following a lot of the same lessons, but we're going to be adding another digit onto our one-digit number. So we'll no longer be multiplying by only one digit. We're going to multiply with two-digit numbers. And so that is what chapter 5 is all about. It's going to go pretty quick. So hang on tight and make sure you're asking questions as we go, because these lessons are going to fly by and then all of a sudden you're going to be like, holy cow, we're already to the chapter test. So let's make sure we are doing our best throughout this chapter, and make sure you're watching these videos so that you know exactly what steps to follow, because it is a little bit different when we have two digits. So our first lesson is chapter 5, lesson 1, multiply by tens. And if we think back to chapter 4, lesson 1, you'll remember that there was lots of zeros in our numbers. We had things like 8 times 200. Okay, and so what we would do is we would think about our basic fact of 8 times 2, which is 16, and then there was 2 zeros on our 200, so I put 2 zeros on my answer, went 1, 2, 3, scoop, put my comma in, and that was my final answer. Today's lesson is basically the same exact thing, except there's going to be zeros on both of our numbers, and so all we have to do is make sure that we count all the zeros that we have, no matter where they are, and place them at the end of our number. So, for example, let's jump to this chapter. And let's say we have, instead of 8 times 200, we have 80 times 300. Okay, if I have 80 times 300, I can't necessarily box my basic fact because there's zeros everywhere, but I can underline the two digits that I'm going to be multiplying, which is 8 times 3. And 8 times 3, if you've went over the 8s flashcards for today, 8 times 3 is 24. And then I have 1, 2, 3 zeros that I have to put on the end of my number. So after I count those 3, I put in my comma, and then 24,000 is my final answer. So basically, we just need to know our facts, because if we know our facts, we can find the answer to that very quickly, and then we're very much capable to count just a few zeros to be able to put on the end of our number. So there's not much else to this lesson today other than knowing your basic facts. So if you're still struggling with those, I would suggest getting through this lesson and then practice, practice, practice. Let's do just a couple more examples. Let's say I have 20 times 50. Okay, when I'm solving 20 times 50, my basic fact is 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. And then I have 2 zeros that I need to plop on. So 2 zeros. My final answer is 1,000. What if I have 80 times 70? Okay, if I have 80 times 70, my basic fact is 8 times 7. 8 times 7 is 56. And then there's 2 zeros. So I put 2 zeros on the end, count 3, put my comma. Okay, so that is pretty much all that we have for today. And it's important that even if we had a problem that looked like this, let's say it was stacked though, once we get to that, which will come very quickly this week, we need to recognize if there's a zero in both number, all we have to do is think about it like we have during this first lesson. Okay, so this is kind of teaching you a quick trick. When we have lots of zeros, just multiply your basic fact and add the zeros on. We don't have to go through the long process that this will take us through. Now, when we get numbers that don't have all these zeros in, obviously we'll have to go through that long process, and it's going to be super duper fun once we learn it. But for right now, let's not worry about this method, and let's just focus on learning our basic facts and putting the zeros on the end of our number. Okay? Get through your homework today, And then I believe we are hopping on MobyMax, but let me double check. Yes, please go over to MobyMax Math for 20 minutes once you complete today's worksheet. All right, have a great day. Bye, guys.